So, the Biennale di Venezia, or the Venice Biennale. We've all heard of it. Why don't we just talk about what that is and why does it exist? What's it all about? I mean, can't be just a really another fancy festival. It's kind of like the Oscars, right? And fancy outfits and photographers, and that's it. Is that all to it? The Biennale di Venezia is actually a cultural institution, and it was founded way, way long ago in 1895. So originally, the Biennale was completely focused on art. That was its original scope. It was exclusively focused on national and international artists, but just artists, that sort of stuff, painting, drawing, sculpture, whatever. And then in 1930, they began to include music. In 1932, the International Film Festival. Then finally in 1934, the International Theater Festival. Don't really see the difference between the two, but yeah. Then in 1980, they began to include architecture. And then finally, in 1999, they included dance. So the Biennale includes a large part of all art forms, if not all of them. Debatable, right? I'm mostly going to talk about the Art Biennale because, this is an art channel. I like art, you like art. We're both here for the art, right? So let's get straight to the art. La Biennale the Biennale of Venezia is the leading biennale in the world, though there are several out there. There are biennales in various countries across the globe. According to the statistic of 2019 of the Biennale, they're proud to include 90 countries who participate in their festivals. So basically, it's a really prestigious cultural organization. We knew that, right? But they don't happen every year, nor do they happen at the same time. Technically, it is the art and the architecture biennales. They are held every 2 years. And the other ones, so theater, music, and dance, are held every year. And then the rest of the biennales can last from 10 days to 2 weeks. It really depends. And also the art and the architecture biennales don't happen the same year. So it's all very spread out. Venice is full of these festivals all the time, basically. So what is the point of the Biennale? According to the Biennale itself, they have very different types of objectives, so it really depends on what year we're talking about, what is the exhibition happening that year, and who are the people participating that year. So the scope of it changes from exhibition to exhibition. But of course, there is a general idea that they kind of try to stick to in all the biennales happening, whatever year it is, whatever theme it is. And they have stated that, I will read this, it's a quote. In the 2019 Art Biennale, they stated that we are committed to the principle that the institution must be a machine for desire whose mission is to buttress and boost our need to see further beyond, a need that art can help us fulfill. So, in simple words, art is helping us evolve as humanity. Art is helping us to see beyond, to develop our ideas, that sort of thing. Then in the 2019 Biennale, it was titled May Live in Interesting Times. The title of the event itself is of course carefully chosen by the committee or the board of the Biennale. And they also describe why the title was so, like why did they choose this title. And then in the case of May Live in Interesting Times, it was chosen because it has like a double-sided meaning, so it can mean both good times and bad times. And we knew that soon enough after the pandemic broke out. It was pretty crazy. So for all of us, so good times, bad times, a mix of both. Pretty interesting title, very cool. And that one was a pretty good representation of how generally these events are held. So as for that Biennale in particular, they decided that the purpose of inviting the people out there and why you should visit it that year, they stated, and I will read this as a quote, that this exhibition aims to celebrate art's capacity to stimulate complex responses and conversations. From that, we can take that you should visit the Art Biennale in order to, any Biennale, in order to spark conversation between people and what art should be and what are the problems of the modern world and how that can be solved or what we've achieved. So many things to talk about, really. It kind of helps us to understand what state the world is in at the moment. The exhibitions are not actually all held in the same building. It's, spread out throughout Venice. Due to the popularity and such a large size of the events, the expositions are mostly held in the Arsenal or the Giardini. Those are the biggest exhibitions, and then the other ones are scattered throughout Venice. There are also various meetings on art. Those are open to the public. The Biennale organizers encourage each country to kind of create their own pavilions, to set them up themselves, to create the style themselves, and this way they can present their works in their own atmosphere that they've created. And through this, actually, the countries that build the pavilion are basically in charge of the costs that it takes to build the pavilions and to set it up and everything. So it's kind of a smart way to have countries, participate in the way they want everything to be set up, but at the same time puts the financial strain on them completely. The countries kind of choose the artists themselves, so the Biennale does not choose the artists in each country. The country just kind of sends people to represent them at the Biennale, and that's kind of how they're picked out. But of course, the works and styles differed greatly from one another, as they would in any exhibition. So can you buy works at the Biennale, right? I mean, not that any of us have so much money, but if you ever wondered, does that belong to someone? Did someone already purchase it? How does that work? You can't buy a work directly at the Biennale. Typically, the galleries that are representing themselves at the Biennale, they put out their best works, and then after the Biennale, you can purchase them. All the Biennales, they have a main curator for the art. So in 2019, that was Ralph Rogoff. He is the director of the Hayward Gallery in London. In total, there were 600,000 people visiting the event, in total, for the whole duration of the event. That being from May until November. Anyway, this is basically what you would do if you were ever to visit. You just buy online a 25 euro ticket. It is also possible to obtain a ticket which gives you access to the venues more than once, because generally you can visit the venue one time, but they give you more than one access. It's valuable for 2 days, and then it costs 30 euro, just a little bit more if you want to revisit some exhibitions. There are also cards, like membership cards you can purchase. It ranges from silver, gold, platinum, and diamond, kind of like a credit card or whatever fancy sort of card you can have of a membership. The price range, check this out, is from 65 to 2,000 euro. I mean, not that crazy, especially if you're a really big fan of art. 2,000 euro, if you're already in the art world, you probably got money, right? 65 euro, not much at all. But here's the deal. If you want to get the 2,000 euro card and become a diamond card holder, not only do you have to purchase the card, but you have to be a donor for the Biennale. And then, while being a donor and purchasing a really fancy card, you get offers to go to the gala of the Biennale, a nice little event, and you get some free admissions. But for basic people like all of us, it's just 25 euro a ticket. You can also download or print a brochure that's made by the venue, download it for the sake of saving the trees. All this information can be found on their Transparenza page on the Venice Biennale, so it's kind of like their transparency. Now, if you want to know more about it, how to read it, what does it say, what is the revenue of the Venice Biennale, how much do they get from donations, how much do they get from the tickets, how much money do they earn, how does it work, the structure of the Biennale. I mean, it's all very administrative stuff, but if you're interested, leave a comment below and let me know. This way I'll make a video. But, it's just a really cool event, because it represents a bunch of cultures from around the world, how the contemporary art world is growing, what are the trends, and just to have a good time. I mean, visit Venice. It's just a really great way to spark conversation that we need lots and lots of in the art world today, with the way it's going and with what should be done. And I mean, man, so many conversations to have, honestly, kind of even hard. I don't even know where to start, but it's really cool. And you get to just meet a lot of cool people and hang out, and it's really an unforgettable atmosphere. So that's about it, how the Biennale works. Let me know if you have any more questions, and thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you next time.